Hello everybody and welcome back to some more beta Minecraft. Since the last episode, I've done a bit of caving because I need gold and strip mining just hasn't really been working out for me. I found a nice little cave over there in the desert underneath our quarry. And I like full cleared it of all its resources. I got like 8 stacks of coal, 3 stacks of iron, 40 gold, and like 15 diamonds, right? Then that got me exploring a little bit around the area, and I didn't find too many caves, and the ones I did find weren't very deep, but I did find this one, and come check out what I found. Now, if we come down here, check it out. It's a skeleton spawner. Now, if you'll remember, I said I've been wanting to find one of these for a while because I've been going through a lot of bone meal, and I've been really needing a bone farm, or a skeleton farm, rather. And yeah, here it is. So this is what we're going to be working on this episode. Funnily enough, in this tunnel that branches off, I found a zombie spawner as well. So we got a ton of mossy cobblestone to work with now. It's just down there. And in both of the dungeons, I found music discs. So you can play music now. Before we start on our skeleton farm, I want to quickly go over my plans for the entrance. I'm imagining around the mouth of the cave, like crumbling ruins, like decaying, like cobblestone walls, toppled pillars, and like a bunch of overgrowth. And right at the mouth, I'm imagining like a big like skull with fire in its pupils, or its eye sockets rather, which I think could be cool. I've never like really worked with like spheres before. I made a lot of circles, but never anything like round and like 3-dimensional. So that should be a bit of a challenge. I also think I want to like make it a bit deeper just to give me some more room to work with, but we can work on the terraforming later. So the first thing we need to do is to clear out a 9x9x9 cube around the monster spawner. And I believe because there's no blocks for them to spawn on, they'll just spawn in the air. And we need them to fall a specific distance away from the monster spawner so that more skeletons can spawn behind them. Funnily enough, immediately after finding this one, I found another cave that had another skeleton spawner, but I just didn't like the location as much, and it was pretty far underground. This one is pretty close to the surface. I want to say like maybe 20 blocks deep. We also want to build above the spawner so that no skeletons can spawn on top of it, or else they won't fall down into our chamber. We gotta be really careful to keep this place lit as we're digging, or else skeletons will spawn on top of us, as you can see. I don't know if it's necessary for the ceiling to be 4 blocks above the spawner, but I'm going to bring it up a bit, just in the off chance that it does increase our spawn chances. Fuck. I don't even know where that one spawned. I want to start building outposts, like places where I can just like sleep and like restock. Around like any builds that are like kind of sort of like far away from home, just so I have somewhere to like sleep for the night. Now that we got our chamber dug out, we just got to place the water like so. And then bring it down just one more. And it should pool perfectly this spot. Then we just place the sign like so. Oops. And I believe that's correct, unless I placed the water wrong. But I believe they should just like flow in like this and then drop straight down. Okay. We're gonna dig down 2 blocks wide so we don't fall into lava. Alright, now we just gotta break all these torches. This is the sort of dangerous part that I was worried about. We definitely don't want to get knocked down into the pit with them. Now, if I've done this correctly, we should have some skeletons down here. I was hoping for a bit more, but I guess we can always AFK up there somewhere. Now what I want to work on before anything else is creating a staircase out of here because ladders are just a bit lame. Interesting. Okay. While digging my tunnel back up, I dug into another tunnel I don't recognize. So it looks like we're deeper than I thought we were. See, this is why I need, like, supplies just, like, dotted around. I'm currently out of food, and my pick is almost broken. So now I need to make a quick grocery run back home. Oh, shit. I was just digging the staircase, and look at how many we got down there already. I want to say that's, like, maybe 8, 9? Hard to tell with them all overlapping. Okay, so we got our stairway dug, and it turned out to be way more time-consuming than I thought it would be. I originally planned to start from the bottom and make sort of like a spiraling, like almost naturally generated, like cave-like stairway. And I realized it was going to be too shallow. It would take like way too long to reach the top. So I went with a more traditional, like square stepped stairway. And as you can see, it took me a try or two to get it lined up at the bottom, but we got there in the end. So I'm going to fill all this in, and then we're going to start decorating. You know something I've only recently noticed? Chickens make the same footsteps as every other mob on grass. That's so bizarre. They sound so heavy. Alright, here's our finished staircase. I tried my best to make a seamless transition from natural cave to artificial stairs, but I might have to like tweak it a little bit up there. Come down here. Bit of a walk. A ladder might be faster. And here's our finished skeleton farm. Chest for bones, and if we come up here, we have a nice little sort of observation window where we can safely AFK and wait for skeletons to spawn up there, which they should be coming in any second now. And there they are. Okay, so yeah, the interior is done for the most part. Let's move on to outside. Alright, so I mentioned before that I wanted to have a giant skull at the mouth of the cave, but it doesn't appear to be tall enough. So I think, unfortunately, a large chunk of this hill is going to have to come forward to, like, sort of, like, cover it up, which means I'm going to need a lot more dirt, to say the least. Fuck! God damn it. I wasn't even recording. Fuck me. Okay, we respawned right next to our shit. Oh, that sucks. How did he... Where did he come from? There's like nowhere he could have spawned. It's so weird. That's our first death. Damn. Yeah, it's like middle of the day. Where would he have spawned? It really sucks. Alright, so here is our skull. Not finished, mind you. It's not going to be made out of cobblestone. I just want to create like the little outline before I committed to like using, say, wool or stone or whatever. But yeah, this is where it's going to go. I do have a pretty large amount of terraforming to do. Not only do I have to bring that hill forward, I have to bring this sort of like walkway, this little trench out a bit. I want it to have like a wider curve. So I've got my work cut out for me. I'll see you when that's done. Okay, we are back. 3 days later. Christmas has come and passed, and I've been quite busy, as you can see. This is our hill. This is probably the largest terraforming endeavor I've ever undertaken. It took me way longer than I thought it would, and a lot more dirt than I had. I had to do quite a bit of digging. Let me actually get a better angle so you can see just how much I've done. If you look over here, you can sort of see like a little cave. It doesn't go very deep. It's just a couple blocks, but that's where the hill started. And I brought it out, I want to say like maybe 30 blocks. Let's get up here. So it is hollow on the inside, but not completely. It's, I want to say 3 blocks deep. Shoot, I didn't think this through. There, as you can see, let's actually drop down actually. Why not? So this is the interior. I want to say the hill started like right about here. Obviously I've dug out most of the dirt, as you can see by the exposed stone. But yeah, the hill started to come down like right about here, and I just pushed it forward just a little bit. It is pretty flat up top, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I just didn't have the dirt to make it like a whole layer taller. But I think it looks natural enough that I'm okay with how it turned out. I think it turned out really well. So next up on the agenda, we're gonna try to finish our skull, because as I said before, it's not gonna be made out of stone. Although I will say, looking at it, I do kind of like how it looks as is, but I just want to see how it looks with wool first before I settle on anything. Alright, that looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. However, I do want to add a bit more detail. I originally wanted to have netherrack in the eye sockets, like sort of like flaming eyes. But obviously that's not going to work with a bunch of wool. And I don't know how I would make that work without... I suppose I could like push the eye sockets back like a couple blocks, which might be an idea, but I don't think I can do it far enough without lighting up the whole fucking skull. So let me just try this first. Give this guy some teeth. Nah. Are his eyes too small? How do I make this work? I suppose I could put glowstone in there. That might be smarter. Let me head back home real quick and get some glowstone. Dang. Why are there so many pigs here? I'm not gonna pass up the opportunity for free food, but seems a little weird. Ooh, I have just enough glowstone to make this work. Okay. God, our home has come so far in honestly not a lot of time. I feel like I haven't played that much on this world, like playtime wise, even though it has been about like 7 weeks. But I'm so happy with this. It's just, it keeps getting better every time I play. It's a really satisfying feeling. You know what I forgot to get while I was there? I forgot to get a shovel. Whoops. The one thing I'm not like fully satisfied with about the hill that I've made, I would have liked this to have like extended out a bit more, just so the skull is like completely obscured until like you round the corner. I thought that's sort of like what I was going for, but it just didn't work out. I think that definitely looks better. Need a good like screenshot for the thumbnail. God, I still can't get over how good this turned out. I was cooking with this one, I think. Just like looking through like the overgrowth and seeing this sticking out of the cliff face. I think it's such a cool image. But now that that's out of the way, now that that's done, all that's left is to build the wall around our entrance. And I don't have anything like elaborate in mind, just a simple cobblestone wall. And I've marked the entrance, but I don't have the dimensions in mind either. So I think I'm just gonna go, let me think. What is like a good like height for a wall? I think 6 blocks tall is our magic number. I want it to be tall enough to be imposing, but not so tall that you can't like sort of see over it a little bit, like see the forest behind it. And we're going to cap it off with slabs on the top so that monsters can't spawn on it. And it's not going to be just a simple flat wall. We are going to spruce it up a bit after we get the dimensions mapped out. We're going to have like mossy cobble, some like cracks in the wall, parts where it's like deteriorated and like toppled over. But we're just mapping out the shape real quick. Damn, that's as high as it goes. I thought it would have been taller. Oh well. Okay, I've actually somehow ran out of cobblestone, so I'm gonna run back again. One of the things I forgot to mention while we were here earlier is some of the changes I've made around here since the last episode, which is probably pretty jarring if you're watching this right after the last one. Obviously, the most notable is the hedge around the plaza area, which I always intended to include, but just forgot about while I was building it. And up there on the windmill, I've replaced some of the logs with spruce just to give it a bit more contrast, as well as some of the wool on the fan with light gray wool, just so it doesn't blend in as much. Next up inside, I've added sort of a dining table with some chairs and our little cake, just to fill the space a bit more, because this corner was looking a bit empty before. And I've also built some bookshelves just to make the space feel a bit cozier. Like I said earlier, this world is always growing, and I probably won't show all the changes I make on camera, but I also don't want to waste your time with like the small stuff, just like planting grass and flowers and shit. So just know that like between episodes, I'm still working on it, working on things, changing things, deciding what looks good and what doesn't. Dang, I didn't realize you could actually see the wall from here. I was kind of hoping it was a bit further away. But I guess we can turn down the render distance if it's a big deal. You know, I keep forgetting that third-person view is a thing in this version. Just because I would never use it. If I could look at my character, it'd be different. I would be using it all the time just to look at the camera. But yeah, I don't understand the point of this because you can't actually see what's in front of you. You know, I thought it would be cute to add these little support beams going around the outside. But now if I want to space them apart evenly, I now have to count how long this whole wall is, which I hadn't done prior. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, everybody, the wall is up, but unfortunately, I'm out of time to record. I have to start editing this video. I didn't get to add the finer details like the decay and like overgrowth, but if I finish building before this video goes up, I'll probably throw it on screen right now, just give you a quick tour. But as is, I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is one of the projects that has taken me the longest to build just in terms of like playtime, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks pretty damn good, if I do say so myself, and I'm gonna get plenty of use out of it. I already got like a stack of bones from it. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.